Go ahead and, it's 10 o'clock, and so we are going to go ahead and get started on real estate backstory. So this is our weekly live cast podcast. We do a lot of things with this kind of thing, but every week we do real estate backstory, where we talk about, we kind of throw back the veil on and kind of show the soft underbelly of the real estate world. The whole idea is that what's really going on behind the scenes. What are we seeing? Everything that's going on. So we are Ming and Alan Richardson. We are the managing brokers and the owners at Maximum and Realtor Partners.
It's Monday, yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah.
So we're going to start jumping in. We got a couple of guests with us here today. So we have Melissa Christian and Nancy Barlow. They're gonna talk in just a few minutes, but we're just gonna kind of jump in, and since they're lenders, we're gonna get busy and start talking about what we're seeing in the mortgage industry, what's happening, and how all that is really equating into what's going on. And so we just had mortgage rates just came out this past Friday. They just hit a new low on mortgage rates. Now, Melissa and Nancy, they're going to talk to us a little bit more and tell us really what's going on. And for us, we're seeing just amazing rates coming through on some of our contracts. But what we're also seeing is if you have clients that are credit challenged, that's not for them. The great mortgage rates, you got to have your act together on the credit side of things, kind of thing.
And just testify what Alan just said. Y'all keeping me really busy because I have 400 unreviewed transactions in my pipeline this weekend. And
things are definitely getting busy. So it's really
have a lot of new contracts. So
mortgage applications this year versus last year. Right now, mortgage applications last month or for the month of April was down 30%. However, in May, we're only down 10% from last year. That means that we are at 90% of the mortgage applications, the same volume as last year. And so just the fact that there's that many more mortgage applications, we keep seeing a growing trend that continues to move in a very positive direction for us. Matter of fact, we're on 4 weeks of gains in mortgage applications. And we saw another double-digit growth, 11% more growth in the mortgage applications. That's really, really good news to me because that shows that we're moving definitely. We see all the trends, especially on real estate, moving in a very, very positive way.
And this goes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago about a lot of pinned up buyers. And don't be surprised you get calls from your old friends and your old sphere influences seeking advice about getting a home.
Yeah. So. Also, one new thing on the mortgage front, and we're going to hit Melissa and Nancy with it here again in a minute, and that is Fannie and Freddie have adjusted their forbearance. Now, I'm not sure if they've actually taken it all the way out to the actual lenders, but now if you have, or if your clients have a FHA or a VA loan, now they can move their forbearance until the end of their term. Now, that doesn't necessarily take care of clients who have conventional loans. And they're going to still need to deal with it. It's not automatic either, from what I'm hearing from most. And we're going to ask them a little bit more. And because we have seen a tapering off of forbearance, because I've been a little bit concerned with forbearance. I think, right now, almost 7% of all Fannie and Freddie loans are in forbearance, and 12% of all FHA mortgages are in forbearance. And so that, to me, worries me a little bit. And so we're definitely gonna hit them up. So Melissa and Nancy, we're just gonna kind of bring you in here, kind of thing. You guys are jumping in between the two ferns with us, and so I just kind of want to hit you up on a couple of different things. Melissa, there we are.
I got that reference, by the way.
Did you? Oh, good. Okay.
Which we did. Was that Galifianakis?
Yeah. So Nancy and Melissa, I'm going to let you guys kind of introduce yourself, and then I'm going to start just kind of hitting you with some stuff. I'd love to ask you some questions and pick your brains for a little bit. So please tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, my name is Nancy Barlow. I've been here with New American Funding now for coming up on 4 years. But I have been in the mortgage industry forever. I'm coming up on like year 44 or something like that. I've lost track.
Started when she was 4.
I started when I was 3. Okay.
She was always
So-
gifted with numbers,
Right.
very gifted with numbers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I've kind of seen it all. This market is unprecedented. It's totally different than anything else that there's ever been in history. But yeah, my background has been really every position you can think of here in the mortgage industry, from closing to shipping to underwriting, processing, and, origination and so forth. So yeah, I've pretty much can have either seen or heard almost anything in this industry. Melissa?
Yeah, I've been in the business 21 years. I'm much, and I actually came up through the home bank system to start off with. I was a processor, setup person. I graduated, my undergraduate is in psychology from Georgia State, and then I have an associate's in paralegal studies. So as far as the real estate side of it, I hate when they change it to CDs because I had those settlement statements down. But been in the business 21 years, done everything. I was a loan officer assistant for many years to high producers, and love originating. We both live in the area. We both partner very, very well, and we're really excited to do this. We're able to access a capacity to pull credit from our phones anywhere we need. So yeah, we're excited.
Well, just so everyone else knows, Nancy and Melissa we are opening a new office in Fayetteville. And so Melissa and Nancy, they're going to be helping us and partnering with us in our Fayetteville location. And so it was a great chance for us to kind of introduce you to our agents and as well as into the real estate community. And then also, because you guys are just a wealth of knowledge, I'm kind of wanting to know a couple of things. So you guys can just kind of bounce it off and that kind of thing. So what are you seeing as far as mortgage rates and availability of credit versus the actual rates themselves?
Well, of course, with all this, I mean, we did back up and said that most everybody else went to like a 640 credit score when this market just closed up. We stayed at a 620. Of course, that meant some people underneath there, we were helping them get rescores to get up to 620 so we can put them into the pipeline. Now, as of Friday, we have gone back down to a 580 score.
Whoa! Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah. Now, again, we're supposed to get our pricing today, but again, it's probably going to be where the sellers are going to have to help out with a little discount.
Right.
These are loans then that we still don't have investors that are going to back them. So these are ones that, New American Funding has taken the reins and said, hey, if the deal makes sense, we have to have an AUS automated approval. We will make the loan. Okay.
All right. So that's more about getting the lender all the way kind of through underwriting on the front end, then, right?
Which we do on every one of our files. Just to kind of back it up here a little, Melissa, do you want to tell them how our loans usually go? 1, 2, 3 when we do setups?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, first of all, both Nancy and I have a designated loan officer assistant. So what we do is we, both of us do generally speak with the pre-qualifications. So they will be talking to us. Occasionally, if there's a lot, our assistants will step in, but generally we like to be the main first point of contact so they know they're talking with us.
Absolutely.
If we know we can do something immediately, we go ahead and start getting their documents together. With the contract, what we do is we put everything together. Our loan officer assistants request disclosures. We gather all the documents, and then once we have all the intent to proceed, wet documents and everything, we do what we call send it over the wall to a PA who orders title appraisal, flood certificate, all of that. And then we have a thing called JET where you immediately go not to the processor, but into underwriting. And that way it's underwritten up front. So by the time it gets to the processor, it's already reviewed by an underwriter.
And what
we know if there are any issues. Once we get, a lot of it depends on the speed of the customer, but once it goes over the wall, it's usually, Nancy, would you say no more than 48 hours with a PA?
Yeah, with the PAs, yeah. And again, like Melissa said, it depends on the buyers, how fast they get us any initial upfront document and so forth.
And then the underwriting is usually within 48 hours at the most. And our underwriters, our processing, underwriting, closing, all of that is done within our company. We say in-house, but obviously a lot of people work from home right now. But so we don't have to broker. We can broker out, but all of our stuff, our general products are done in the company. So it literally is trackable the whole way. And you get updates. It's not something where you have to send it out and wait to get a response back.
Now, one thing too, excuse me, but one thing too is when the initial pre-qualification process, we at that time, just because of the market the way it is, Melissa and I, we also run an AUS approval up front for a pre-qual, okay? So that we don't have any questions, because I know like some USDA loans, you can look at the ratios and they're like, hey man, this is great. They got a great score. And for whatever reason, you know, the GUS system won't take it. So we don't get a week to 2 weeks behind. We run it up front, and then after we get documents during the setup, the AUS is run again.
So it is your standard policy. Go ahead and get the flood cert. Just make sure it's not property's not in a
Up front, yeah.
As well as the property tax, just so to ensure the buyer is not over the border on their debt to income ratio.
Yeah, here's one of the things that both Nancy and I do, and this is just from experience, is when I get a contract, the first thing I do, and probably Nancy does the same thing, because we sit like 5 feet apart. She's in another room, is that we take the contract. I pull the tax assessor's page and the tax commissioner's page. I pull the tax assessor's page and I look at the contract to make sure that the seller on the contract matches the seller on the tax assessors. And I do that because if it's an FHA loan, it could be a flip issue or it could be something. So I want to make sure those match. And if they don't, then I'm going to ask questions because I want to make sure that we don't get hit with the FHA 91-day rule. And then also what I do.
No, go. You were on the roll. I'm sorry.
No, and then what I do is when I pull the tax bill, I go in and I make sure it's either no exemption or an L1 exemption. If it is, hello, one of my headsets fell out. If the L1 exemption is what it is, then I quote that in my original pre-qual to them to make sure they qualify. Fine. Then what I do is I will contact Henry County or whatever county it is and ask, they have a tax estimator online. Some counties don't. But if I have to call the county, I say, based on this price, what will the estimated taxes be? And that's what I qualify.
Okay. Great.
I don't
because,
want to be based on that.
As a back-end broker, we have deals, not recently, but I have seen a couple fell through because the lender did not pull the floodplain certification up front. And also they didn't look at the property taxes because sometimes you may buy a home from elderly and the taxes isn't applied. And so therefore it causes a problem on the back end because the ratios are off.
Yeah,
absolutely. We never wait on title, and we definitely, those things are ordered up front. But even before it gets to my LOA, I have pulled the tax bill and the tax assessor's page to check ownership and then also to check exemption. And if it has too much of an exemption, if it has a tax estimator, I use that. If it doesn't, I call the county and I use that to qualify them. That's just experience. Like that's something that Nancy and I never plan on getting. You get bid on that once a million years ago.
Well, and that really shows the value of working with partners that really know what they're doing and are prepared to have really good systems, because it's the ones that don't have the systems that you guys have that really always ends up in trouble. Real quick, what other products are you guys doing right now? I mean, because for a long time, or not for a long time, but we've seen jumbo gone away. Bank statements gone away. Are those still gone away? I mean, what products are out there?
Yeah, those are still not back yet. The bank statement programs, the jumbos, they're not here. Those investors have still closed their doors to us. We're basically looking at the standard government and conventional financing at the present time. We're not even presently doing the 203K rehab, conventional or FHA, because the investors had pulled out. Okay.
Gotcha.
So what qualifies as a jumbo, the price point?
What you're looking at is anything that's over 510,400. Now, again, we get creative. If somebody's just over that and they've got, some money to put down, we will do a first and a second split to keep it in conforming guidelines.
How about down payment assistance? Are there any? Are those things still here? And I've seen some Dream come through, but I'm just not sure. That's about the only thing we've seen.
Right now, we are not doing Georgia Dream because of the buyback that they're making us do. That is it's just not affordable for us. So we have pulled away from Georgia Dream at the present time. We do have in our own in-house FHA 100 program. And that one there's like 3 different versions to that program. One version is based on, income. That can be a forgivable program, a second mortgage forgivable. But if somebody is over the income limit, they can still have the program, but they pay it back over a 10-year period. So we still have those. Of course, Clayton County is back. Nadia and them are back and running again now. So the Clayton County DPA program is up and running again.
As of last Monday. And Nancy, is it Chenoa? Remind me, Chenoa is the one that they don't look at household income. They look at just the person on the loan, right?
Right. Let's say that you've got a borrower that needs a co-borrower like mom and dad. This FHA 100 or Chenoa, as we call it, it only looks at income for the person going to live in the house. So that way, mom and dad, they make too much money. We're not kicked out of the forgivable side of the program. Okay.
Yeah, I saw a couple of Chenoa actually come through this weekend, so I was just interested to see if you guys were doing that.
Great.
And honestly, with a Chenoa, if you do it side by side, like if it's the PIN program, and we ultimately believe the Georgia Dream will be back. It's just that I think everybody's kind of watching the dust settle. Mm-hmm. But let's say you did just a straight $5,000 Georgia Dream loan. 2% of your closing cost is origination. So let's say you have a loan amount of $150,000. That's $3,000 of the $5,000 of the Georgia Dream.
Origination
fee. The Chenoa only charges 1% origination and a $3.99 fee. Plus, we're able to close it, Nancy, within 30 days generally, right?
Yeah, generally within 30 days. So
it's not a 45-day, 60-day close. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, if you could just qualify for the basic Georgia Dream program, the Chenoa is better on what you come to closing with because you're not eating up that $5,000 money, and they give you 3.5%. So let's say on 150,000, rather than getting 5,000 and having 2% eaten up by that, you actually get 5,250 and only 1% and a $3.99 fee is eaten up. So in some ways, it's better on paper to do that rather than just do a straight 5,000 Georgia Dream.
Gotcha. Now,
and it's possible that second can be a forgivable second, whereas Georgia Dream, you would have to pay it back when you sold it.
Well, I thought Georgia Dream, if you lived for so many periods
after
5 years,
Georgia Dream did change it. Yeah.
Oh, did they change
5
that?
years.
Okay, yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, but that 2% origination always kills me, because if you're getting $5,000 and it's like 3,000 of that, then it's not the biggest. It's not the biggest help in the world.
No.
All right, now on forbearance, I know that's not necessarily your guys' normal wheelhouse kind of thing, but a lot of agents have, I really want agents to be able to speak intelligently to their clients and become that trusted resource kind of thing. So, when first of all, they have to ask for this new forbearance. I believe they have to request that with their lender, their servicer, and their loan documents. Is that correct?
Well, we had a Zoom call with all of our Southeast managers in the company on Friday. Right now, we don't have anything directly. I mean, I know what you're talking about, that it's come out saying that they're going to let this go to the back end of the loan and all this. We do not have any of that passed down to us from FHA, VA, Fannie, or Freddie. Okay. So right now we are still having to proceed. And again, it could change today since this stuff was just starting to come out like, Thursday and Friday. But right now we're still under the forbearance that they cannot have missed any. They can be in the forbearance, but they need to have made every one of their mortgage payments during that time period. If they missed one payment, then they have to wait 12 months to obtain financing. There's
Oh,
no
wow.
forgivable period in there.
Now, are we seeing any kind of help for conventional loans on that kind of thing, or no?
No,
Because that's
same
what we've
thing,
been
yeah.
seeing too, and that's one thing we've been concerned about is because normally with forbearance, at the end of that forbearance period, they got to pay everything back.
That's it. And to me, I think the government got ahead of themselves in this forbearance stuff. To me, it should have been classed like the natural disasters, because when the national disaster note goes on a credit report, there's no late payments, there's no nothing. It's just noted, and nothing changes, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I missed 3 payments. It's not going to show up on the credit report. The company has just tacked it onto the back and business as usual. So yeah, this thing, to my opinion, got just tagged wrong to start with. Somebody was not thinking properly. Yeah.
Gotcha. A couple
I
other.
think a lot of people went into forbearance thinking, okay, this is going to take the pressure off of me.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfortunate that after all this, Fannie and Freddie are saying, well, first they were saying you're going to have to pay it back immediately. And we're like, okay, do you not understand where we have no money because of job changes? And so it's unfortunate that 12-month period, and they may change that, but that's right now, it's that 12-month period.
Now, on the side effects from forbearance, on the lending side of things, what kind of impact does that have on the credit score? Can they get a refi? Can they even get a loan after going into forbearance? What kind of time frames? So if I go into forbearance, I figured, it's just kind of nice. I won't have to make some payments. I'll push stuff off to the end. And then we want to sell our house next month. What did they just do to themselves?
They just killed themselves.
12 months.
Really. I've got a
murder. Suicide.
I've got a cash out refi going right now during this, and she wanted extra money cash out to redo her basement. Well, her mortgage company, gave her an option of a forbearance. She didn't, and they didn't fully understand what was going on. So when she got her letter saying, yes, you've been granted the forbearance and so forth, then she, our lights just went out here, guys.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
this is the dramatic moment.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we started looking. We said, look, you've got to make your mortgage payment. She says, well, they tell me I decided to ease myself up. I'll just, while everything going on, let me just, do this forbearance. And we started reading her letter, and it's like, you will have 4 payments due at the end of this. And we're like, you better make your mortgage payment or this whole loan is dead. Like I said, until they change it, it's going to be 12 months if you have a late payment,
Wow.
So, for all the agents, make sure that you are reaching out to your clients and having them reach out to their lenders and their servicers and looking at their loan documents and what their particular situation is. I want that we are the go-to for folks, but we got to have the right information, and we need to be, sounding the alarm, because we've already had a couple instances where folks went ahead and took advantage of the forbearance, and now they can't buy a home. So
I think with Nancy's client, they even reached out to her, didn't they, Nancy?
Yeah, they reached out to her.
They reached out to her. She didn't call them, and so they reached out, and then it was going to hurt her.
Yeah.
What?
That's
crazy.
Wow.
Now,
I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah. One thing, just to kind of put out there, New American Funding is always out there for the buyers, for the clients. We have so many innovative programs and so forth to try and help them. During all this time period, before forbearance was even mentioned and so forth, the rates had dropped and everything, and the refis started coming in. New American Funding took the position on any FHA government loan, FHA VA loan that we had servicing, because we service our own. We offered, when we're still reaching out to them, we were doing a no-cost refinance for all of these buyers down to a 3.25% interest rate.
That's great.
Nice.
And that was just, we're still doing that because, again, the volume and so forth. And some people took it, some people didn't want to, but, we were putting it out there for them to say, look, guys, we're here for you, to get the forbearance stuff. Let's see if we can get your payment lower and maybe help you out that way.
Yeah, well, on our side of things, I'm wanting more and more agents to be reaching out, and I just want to make sure that we have the right information. So,
right.
Really appreciate you guys taking some time with us today and kind of going over the the world of mortgages and all that kind of stuff. Are you guys seeing great volume increases? I know on our end, we're just they're blowing us up right now, and it's a blessing. I'm not complaining at all. This is a
No,
It's
wonderful
great
burden
for our
right now.
agents. Yes.
Yeah, what kind of
I think I
volume are
have-
you guys seeing?
That's my calendar back there.
Right now, we just had this is for just our southeast region here, the southeast. We're looking to close a record-breaking month over 1,000 loans.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
For this month, and that's one of our biggest months. We've been continuing that. It's building. It's just getting higher and higher. And these are, we are doing Southeast. We're doing 80% purchases of what our record is.
Oh,
we don't
wow.
even count what corporate is doing for refis. This is just our Southeast region.
Oh, and this is something I wanted to mention, and this is more information. We'll have somebody come in and do a presentation. But one of the really great things about New American is we have a marketing thing. We have databases of flyers and things like that we can do that co-brand. The really cool thing is, like, Ming, if you and I did a deal and it closed, during that process, we have what's called Townify, where you can go in and check the status of your loan, if the appraisal's been ordered, the floods, all that. But the really cool thing is that for 7 years after closing, everything we send to them is co-marketed with the agent that closed that loan.
That's great.
Follow up. There you go.
Yeah. So, like, happy birthday from Ming and Melissa. Hope you're happy in your home, your 1 year anniversary, Ming and Melissa. And then the really cool thing is that during that process, I think, they try and make sure that the agent's information is prominent on everything. And we service pretty much most of our own mortgages, unless they're like bond programs or specific programs, which means we generally don't sell our mortgages. So it's another way to keep your name fresh in the minds of the people that you've worked with. So let's say they go to sell their house in a few years, they know who their agent was because it's been on their bill every month.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Well, I do know that we have, during the course of y'all's information, I have some agent that asked a couple questions. So you may be getting some phone calls from our agents after this.
Yeah.
In reference, I know a lot of them wants to know about your note loan, just so you know. And that's something that in the past wasn't looked upon as favorable because nobody really explained to them the whole gimmick between that and Georgia Dream.
So if anybody has any questions, Nancy and Melissa's contact information is right here on the screen. Ladies, is that the best way, either email or phone call to you guys?
Yep, either one of those.
Either
right,
way.
so if you can use their services, please do. I really appreciate y'all's time with us today. You're welcome to hang out with us and keep rolling here. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys need to want to share with us before we move on, but I just want to keep moving here. So
thanks for letting us join you between two ferns.
You're welcome.
Nancy, I'll show you the video on YouTube. She has no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, we look forward to, working with all you guys, and agents, just call us anytime. I mean, you can't reach us, leave a message, or you can contact our assistants. Our phone numbers, are on our phones. Okay.
awesome.
Sounds great. Thank you both, ladies.
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
You
We're
are
real
welcome.
excited.
Anything else you want to add there while we're going through? We'd love to have your input. If you see something that you want to chime in, we'd love to have you as well. So, but we're going to keep moving here. So we're going to start running through some of our normal real estate news, or not normal, but not, because times are not that normal. But what else is going on in our market? And how does it impact real estate? So yeah, we're still in quarantine. Unemployment numbers came out last week again, and they are still awful, terrible. But if you look at the trend, the trend is moving in the right direction. As the country is opening up, as things are freeing up. I think you'd be stupid to say that unemployment's not a big deal. It is a big deal, but it is moving in the right direction, and we are continuing to see.
And as you see, the federal stimulus is exiting in July.
At the end of July. So, yeah.
So y'all see more people, scrambling to get a
work.
job because their money stops right there.
Yeah. So, right now, February had very low delinquency rates kind of thing. And Fannie and Freddie just put out an extended ban on evictions and foreclosures. It was due to end this coming week, and now they extended it all the way through June 30th kind of thing. So, is this going to create some kind of pent up rise in delinquency rates later on? I hope not. And that's getting back in why they're doing the forbearance and that kind of thing. But hopefully that really will help us kind of grow. April foreclosures are down 75% from a year ago, but that is with the moratorium, it's hard to say, are those numbers real? Are they not, kind of thing. But after it's just delinquency rates and foreclosures have really been going down for
For a while
years now, kind of thing.
Right.
But it's early to say really what this is going to impact. It has. I'm just trying to keep you guys in the know. We are seeing that remote work is continuing to be a really big deal. We're seeing that like Redfin just did this study and said that really expensive places, people are now moving to much more affordable areas.
Right.
Well, guess what area has amazing affordability? Well, the Atlanta market is as really we're an incredibly appealing market, kind of thing. So
Or major hub for transportations, major hub going. I mean, we're just in the center.
Well, the other thing is we don't have any natural borders. And
Right.
so when you look at almost 40% of the folks who live in urban have considered moving to less populated areas, what's going on? I mean, we are the epitome of sprawl. We don't have, we'll go anywhere. We have one of the longest commutes in the U.S. Well, and which I'm not saying it's good or bad. We love our cars. I mean, just drive down the road, you see everyone else is out there too. But we are kind of seeing a little bit of a shift, getting away from the city. For a number of years now, we've seen a move more urban, and now we're seeing with COVID that everybody's pulling out of that just a little bit. We're seeing the same thing that like even the builders are seeing that kind of thing. So JP Morgan teamed up with American Homes for Rent, and they've started building suburban neighborhoods for rentals. In the past, they'd really been moving into a much more urban market, and so we're seeing even the rental guys are moving out into the burbs, and so we're starting. So as an agent, what does that mean to you? Well, if you have clients that are inside, maybe they are looking to sell. Now would be a good time if you're in. We're seeing an opportunity to list more condos, more urban area, more urban property, and if you're we need more listings in suburbia, kind of thing. We're also seeing that coronavirus is kind of changing how we're buying homes. We're seeing that buyers are buying homes without even going in them. And then I have to be honest, I find that absolutely ridiculous.
What we call blind.
I'm an old crusty dude, and for me that just seems crazy. But we are seeing this growing trend of FaceTime, Zoom buying houses, and the thing is that's going to normalize. A year ago, if you said, "Hey, I think I'm going to try and sell a home over FaceTime," everyone would be like, "Okay, you're nuts." When you say it now, people are like, "Okay, I can see that." And so it's changing how we're doing real estate a little bit. And so, as agents, we got to look at how are we changing the way that we're doing business. On your listing photos, are you using a professional photographer? How great do those photos look? Because it's so important. Are you doing listing videos? Are you doing virtual tours? Taking the clients all the way through a property as if they were right there. That is so important right now. Are we sharing what the floor plans really look like? Are we doing virtual open houses? Are we streaming from our properties? Using Zoom and FaceTime or these other things it's really important right now, because whereas in the past that may not have been that big of a deal to a lot of our buyers, today these are things that will really help to drive the property sales, kind of thing. And so we got to look at how are we reacting to those. So one of the things the builders are seeing right now is a focus on sustainable living, which is really, the builders are starting to look at healthier living, because this is, this whole pandemic's got everyone kind of thinking about, how am I living? What am I doing? How's all this look? And so what that means to me is that we need to be touting those features in our properties, especially when we have listings. So any kind of healthy living options that your home has, if you're listing a property, we need to be talking about those and really promoting those, because we're seeing the builders focus on that. So let's take the lead here and really focus on that too, especially in our listing descriptions and showing off our properties. So we are seeing reopening of America. Right now, the majority of the U.S. is going back through some kind of reopening. We've got some stuff up in the Northeast that is still under stay at home, but largely, and here in Georgia, we've been kind of leading the way.
Right.
And I'm not trying to get in political, but we are going to kind of talk about that a little bit. We saw this whole thing where, first of all, I'm not a medical professional. We don't claim to be. But we're seeing in a press conference that they said that the majority of folks being hospitalized are folks who were staying at home.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing, so all this news and information is coming out there. But to me, the real concern here is that this is becoming a political issue. And as realtors, it doesn't matter if you lean left, if you lean right, if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat. I'm apolitical. And my concern is that it's very easy to become political on this issue. And being political here is not good for your business. Okay, it just isn't. If you come out and you're like, "Woo, Trump, way to go! He's doing a great job," you're going to piss off half your clients, and the Democrats going to be angry. And on the other hand, if you come out and you're bashing Trump or what's going on, even wearing a face mask now is kind of seen as being political. Some folks will refuse to wear a face mask as a political statement. Some folks will. So, well, I guess what I'm really trying to push here is that we need to. I want to support everybody, and if I have a client that doesn't feel comfortable, I'm never going to pressure them into listing their home and doing things that are inappropriate. I'm also not gonna spread fear. Correct. And that kind of thing. So I do encourage you not to be in this political arena right now. We're going into an election year, and in an election year, we see it every 4 years. Everything becomes political. That's not good for your business. Okay, so the more that we can step away from that, the better.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now, the government's like, "Hey, you guys need to stay inside." Everybody else is like, "I'll be outside." Because even this weekend, we saw like Zoo Atlanta had the first sellout crowd that it's had as long as they remember. NASCAR's back, woo, left turns. Kroger hired almost 8,000 new workers last week. They're looking for another 500. Churches are starting to resume service. So we're starting to see things really happen positively on the activity level, things going out. People are starting to peek out of their homes, kind of thing.
Yeah, and school is out at the end of this week. So
Thank
y'all
goodness.
see more people out after this week.
Yeah, because homeschooling has been a trip for us. But we're also seeing Google searches for home sales has a really strong rebound right now. The very bottom here, you'll see this is the trend on the number of Google searches for homes for sale. That homes for sale is a big keyword with Google. And we've seen that, during the height of the coronavirus, it really dropped down. And now, boy, it's as high as it ever has been, kind of thing. Atlanta is doing really, really strong on that same kind of thing. We went in and searched, and like Atlanta is the 33rd highest interest in the nation, kind of thing. And we have a 45% increase in the number of searches of homes for sale. So that's really, really great for us. I know this weekend, we had open houses out the Yin Yang. We had all kinds of open houses out going on this past weekend, this week coming up. And so, on the brokerage level, I just got to tell you, they are blowing our socks off, and we're more than thankful for it. We are literally seeing a doubling in our transaction counts from a month ago.
I have seen more listings come online and went under contract with a matter of 7 days.
Yeah.
So that's just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the housing markets in a lot of big cities are still struggling. You got to be careful when you look at some of the national data, because not every market is the same.
Right.
But when you look at what's going on in Atlanta, Atlanta is off the chain. We're kind of leading the nation on this kind of thing. And a lot of it is because of us, because the real estate agents, because the realtors are out there in the community. Real estate is deemed a necessary service kind of thing. And so we're also out there trying, doing things to show homes and stay safe, and buy and sell property and stay safe. That's what we're really pushing to try and stay ahead of this whole kind of thing, because I don't want anybody getting sick. We're not here to do that.
Right.
But all the social distancing has not done anything to stop the virus. It's just to get us through the curve. And so right now, my personal feeling is I worry more about the economy at this point, kind of thing. So home buying demand has just passed pre-coronavirus levels. Inventory is down. Homes are now selling as quickly as they were last year. So inventory continues to be really, really tight. We are still in a seller's market kind of thing. When you look at the home buying index kind of thing for May, it has just shot up. Yep. We are up big time. And this is the amount of demand that we have in our marketplace kind of thing. You can see that demand is, by the way, you'll see that demand's over 100% somehow. But right now, our demand is far exceeding our supply, because when you compare the demand side, which is here, along with the supply side, we're down about 30% from where we need to be, kind of thing. We don't have enough listings right now. Last week, new listings on the market were down 40% from last year. This past week, they're down 30% from last year. So we need more listings at the same time as we are super tight on inventory. Like this is information directly from Showing Time. Showing Time automatically keeps track. I mean, not automatically, but they keep track of the number of showings going on in North America, because they're a big national company. They have all this great data, and so you can see that this was the week before last. And we got back to the same level of showings that we had in January. Well, this is last week's data. And so now we're back and we're almost up in, we're continuing to improve. And so, this is a 7-day moving average, which means it's not just a single spike. We're seeing a true increase in the number of showings and the number of interest that's going on.
And just to validate that really quick, I saw a contract coming in this weekend. It was a new construction. Nowhere in history of our time that new construction where the selling agent only getting paid 2%. This one was a 2% for selling agent, which I was just shocked. But also this indicate the price point of that home is a starter home, which is around about $179. So if you can get a new construction around that price, yeah, the builder knows they got a good product. It may be cookie cut, box builder, but still at the end of the day, I just never seen new construction offer 2% and the selling agent.
Well, they're doing it because it's a market reality.
Right.
They can't. I got nothing but love for my builders, but I also you gotta keep them in check too, kind of thing. So if they can save a buck, they're going to. Well, I don't necessarily blame them, kind of thing. I do understand the reason that they can offer 2% is because they can do it and sell houses. That's why, kind of thing. Right now, 77% of potential sellers are making preparations to sell their home, waiting for orders to get lifted. This is a national thing going on for sure, but 80% of sellers are getting ready.
Yes.
We need inventory. We need houses.
Prospect.
We really do. And so reaching out right now, we got to be looking at who do we know that's looking to sell a home. Now is the time to reach out. Listings, our days on market right now is around 17 days on market, depending on your price point, kind of thing.
Right.
But roughly, just a little over 2 weeks, kind of thing. That's really great. And that's a really great message to send to our sellers. We need to be having some really great seller conversations right now. So, in having those seller conversations, the things that we feel are really, really important right now to speak with your sellers about. So first of all, let them know homes are selling. Homes are still selling. The industry is just operating a little bit differently. We're closing a little differently. We need some different time frames. Lending's a little different. Everything's just a little bit odd, a little bit off. but homes are still selling.
Absolutely.
And in our market, more than I think anywhere in the U.S., we're being really, really creative. The jobs that are being done by our lending professionals, the jobs that are being done by our closing attorneys, and the jobs being done by the real estate agents to keep people safe and to sell homes at the same time. That's what's carrying us out, carrying us through this whole thing. And that's why real estate is going to be one of the big driving factors for the economy to rebound, kind of thing. The next thing is the interest rates are amazingly low. I know that might seem a weird thing to talk to your sellers about, but when they sell their house, guess what they got to do? They go buy another one. So, like now's a great time to sell, but it's because it's also, you're never going to get money this cheap, ever. I mean,
Melissa's going to come.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Raising my hand. One of the things to keep in mind with the rates is the higher the loan amount, the better the rate, because you can dig into the rate a little bit more. And a lot of people with buyers and then sellers who are going to be buyers, they would qualify maybe for that little extra in a house that they wouldn't qualify for maybe at 4.5%, maybe at 3.25%, they could get that little extra something that they couldn't get when the rates were a little higher. So it really is an incentive to borrow money at such a low rate, because it means they could qualify maybe for that little extra something special that just makes the home just the greatest thing in the world to them.
Well, I mean, for our buyers, the amount of buying power that our buyers have right now with these rates. I know that when my parents bought their first home, it was 13 and a quarter, and they were thankful to have it. And so just the idea of having interest rates in the 3s and the 4s, I just find, phenomenal. I don't know what the lowest rate you guys have seen out there.
On a 30-year fixed FHA, I think at one point I saw 2.75.
Yep, I saw that one too coming through.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow.
So, that is, I know that seems like a buyer conversation. It definitely is. But it's also a seller conversation, because I want that we can double in these deals. And so this is a great reason and one of the things that we need to talk to our sellers about is that these interest rates, this is a very unique time. It makes it a great time to sell, but it also makes it a really great time to buy. Prices are rising, not falling. We are not seeing the market, right now, we are not seeing any kind of price reductions going on other than the normal ones kind of thing. Some folks always put their house out there kind of thing, but we're seeing that prices are increasing, not reducing. When this whole thing started off, we had this whole group of investors that were out there like trying to make offers 50 cents on the dollar, 60% on the dollar kind of thing, and they're just getting laughed out of here. And so if you've got a client who's like, hey, I'm looking for deals, I hate to break it to you, it ain't out there kind of thing, because prices are not moving in that direction.
There may be deal for sale by owners, but what's on the market, typically, there's not a whole lot of leeway on giving up.
Well, we're just, it's a market reality of we have more demand than we have supply. Why would prices drop? We don't have enough inventory, and that's going to continue out there.
We also let our borrowers know that if they get in a kind of a bidding situation, for every $1,000 that they bid up or down, it's about, what is it, Nancy, like $5 on their payment?
About
$5.
$6 to $8.
So I always tell people, like, if you are making an offer and it's the difference of $2,000, that's $10 on your payment. Don't lose a house that you love over $10.
Over 10, 12 bucks, yeah.
Yeah, so we try and make sure that when they're shopping and they're going out to their agent, we let them know the agent is going to guide you. But if some people think, I just got to get a deal. And I'm like, you just don't want to lose the house over like $4.68. So we try to make sure they know that. So when you guys are making an offer, they're informed and say, yeah, that's just $5. Let's do that. And if that gets in the deal, great.
Yeah. All right. Next thing about sellers, let them know that if you're going to sell now, be flexible. You've got to be ready to negotiate. Not necessarily negotiate on price, but definitely on how things are done. The time it takes on inspections, that kind of stuff, because we're seeing that speed is one of the things that is definitely on by transaction basis kind of thing, because some things are still really quickly depending on what the particular situation is, and sometimes it can be a little bit slower. And so, let's make sure that we're discussing that with our clients over there.
Right.
Also, for some of our clients, it's okay to wait to sell, but we need to have that conversation so that when they're ready, we're ready to list their property. So I'm never going to be a hard sell, hey, we can get you the house today kind of guy. But that being said, it's okay to wait. But I want you to know what's going on. I still want to educate my sellers about what's going on. And so when the time is right, I'm still going to be here kind of thing. They can use this time to get their home ready to sell. I know that the homes in our neighborhood are just looking phenomenal because all these people sitting around with nothing but time mowing their grass 12 times a day. Meanwhile, I look like an REO home because I'm still hustling. So, at the end of the day, don't panic. This is temporary. This too shall pass. And having that common sense approach is really, really important kind of thing. Also, one thing that we'll be glad to share out, we just got sent over 13 scripts to prospect with integrity during COVID-19, and we're going to attach that to this handout kind of thing. This is just a list of scripts that you can use to make calls, to set up Zoom meetings, Facebook Lives, hold virtual open houses, things like that, just to have those conversations, those meetings, those virtual meetings, that kind of stuff with your clients. And so we're going to attach that to as well, so people can so you guys can
you
get
guys
that.
can utilize it and hopefully gain you some listing.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We are about to lose power, so we may need to go.
You guys deuce out.
The reason the power, the breaker's not working, and they're going to cut our power.
No worries. Well, thank you so much.
No, we don't want you to think we're hanging up on you.
All right, no, it's all right. You can hang up, brothers. We're fine.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. We are. Next thing I want to talk about is our vacation. VRBO.
Yes.
Airbnb is a big deal right now because Airbnb, and we have a whole list of clients and potential clients that are really feeling the pain right now. Vacation rentals, temporary, short-term Airbnb rentals are tanking. They're in bad shape. There's a lot of these folks. And a lot of these folks, because they got them under different loan programs, that kind of stuff, are not eligible for forbearance. And so this is a great opportunity to be talking to these folks about might be a good time to go ahead and unload that kind of thing. So like going out and through things like Remind, you can find folks that have VRBOs and that kind of stuff and reach out to them. I think this is a great opportunity to reach out
Absolutely.
For Airbnb folks and say, hey, maybe it's time to go ahead and sell this property, kind of thing, because they're the number of people rent their properties is just absolutely tanked. And it looks like even as things go back to normal, this one, we're not, I don't think anyone's really looking at airfare, hotels, and this kind of thing coming back really quickly right now. This is one part of the economy I think is going to lag, and so I think there's a great opportunity for us to help these folks to liquidate some of these properties. Plus, we need the properties. So we got to talk a little bit about how business is being done right now, because everybody's like pants are extremely cheap on Amazon right now. Everything's up shirts because like you wouldn't know if I have pants on or not right now. He
does.
I do have pants, but what I'm saying is business. How business is being done is a little bit differently right now. We got to look at some of the new adjusted behaviors that our clients are going through. A lot of them have very modified working hours, and so if it used to be the best time to reach out was from 8 to 10 in the morning or from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Well, guess what? It's not necessarily the case right now anymore. The whole drive time thing is, the drive time is how long it takes you to go from the bathroom to the office kind of thing. Yeah. So, the new location, our new working locations and conditions are very different than what they were for a lot of it. There's a lot of new technologies out there that people are in there. Our clients are adopting all new social distancing and making sure that we are also looking and respecting that and still able to buy and sell property while adopting social distancing. being focused on health and wellness is a big deal right now. It really is. So anything we can do to assist our clients there. Going paperless is a big deal for a lot of our clients. We're even looking into how we can do remote earnest money deposits and things like that to make it the whole thing. Right now, delivery for everything, there's pretty much not a day I don't show up and there's a package on my front door. Thank you.
What are you talking about?
Okay, anyway.
You're just a skinny.
It's easier to point the finger. But, we're also seeing this big corporate deglobalization and going more local. And so that's a great trend for us. The more local that we are, the better off it supports our local communities kind of thing. The other thing we got to remember is that some segments are completely normal, absolutely normal. So there's really not a change of business for, if you were an introvert work-at-home person before,
Oh, yeah.
things are just great for you.
My daughters thrive in this environment, which is kind of sad because that's not the norm.
But the other thing here that we're seeing is that we have a lot of clients that are lonely.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds really, really odd, but so many of us that were really social and outgoing kind of thing, and so just reaching out and showing your heart, that kind of stuff is so important.
Absolutely.
So it's time to rewrite your business plan. We know that things are changing, but just because other folks are acting like the whole world is on fire, that their head is caught on fire, it doesn't mean that your business has to be done. Has to be that way. We've got to be looking at what are we doing for our business. Like what activities do you need to eliminate from your business kind of thing, but what activities do you need to start? What technology or skills do you need to acquire? Do you have a Zoom account? How are you doing videos, that kind of stuff? What are your modified working hours? When are you reaching out? And then what does your office space look like? And where is it? Are you still trying to work from your kitchen table? I mean, have you set up a place where you go to work? I know at the brokerage level, we had, all of our offices and pretty much all of our locations have been rented out and they're all just sitting vacant right now. And so I worry, the whole benefit of going to the office is it's really, really boring. You come here and you're like,
I got to work.
Oh, well, nothing else to do but work. At home, there's a lot you can do besides work. And so that kind of space you have set up and where it is. So it's time to I want you, really encouraging you to reevaluate your business plan or write a new one. Next week on Real Estate Backstory, we're going to go over the 135 or GPS business plan, how to write that. It's one of those that we really like to do because it gets it very real. So next week on the Real Estate Backstory, we're going to go over creating a 135 or GPS business plan at the meeting kind of thing. Last thing that we're going to end up here is we are putting in accountability. Accountability is one of those things that a lot of our agents have been asking for, and it's been, with the office locations, it's always been pretty good to do that. But now, going virtual, we're putting in virtual accountability, but also, so it's going to be done by me, Ming, Keisha. We're all going to be kind of getting together, but our accountability is not going to be, and if you're doing accountability, you have to have someone that some days can give you a pat on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Other days, a little bit lower.
Ow.
Yeah. Some days you need a kick in the pants. And so that's really the other side of accountability that we don't really like. And so we are going to do that where everyone, when you come in, you have to, how many phone calls did you make? How many clients did you reach out? How many houses did you show? How many things did you preview? That kind of stuff every single week. So, it's a two-way street. You can say you want accountability. We'll be ready for what that is. And then we're also going to have a coaching element that goes in there.
And just remember, is constructive criticism is nothing personal. So if you are being told one thing, it's more a reality check. And if that doesn't fit your business model anymore, then that's fine. But if it does fit your business model, take that as a constructive criticism, nothing personal.
So we'll be rolling that out all this next week, and then we'll be speaking about it a little bit more next week with more details. But just know that we are preparing to roll out accountability throughout the company for those of you that are ready for it. Then, if you're ready if you need that boost, if you're looking to help jumpstart your business, for us, it's been one of those things that, of course,
it's been on our mind.
Well, you know, of course, we're going to do the whole, like, nobody holds me more accountable than this lady right here. But
Thanks.
but it goes both ways. But you know, we all need that person that can kind of help keep us focused, going in the right direction, that kind of stuff. And so we want to provide that for agents as well.
And those that wants to be accountable family partner for your own office and location, please let us know, because I'm sure there are other agents in your office that will love it. And not only that, you build such a good friendship and relationship down the road that, you know, you never know what's going to come of it.
Yeah. So thank y'all very much. We hope this was a useful time for you. We appreciate you sharing with us, and
Absolutely.
we greatly appreciate our I can't even talk now. So a big shout out to Nancy and Melissa. We appreciate their time as well. And
one, just really quick, another big shout out for anonymous donor who actually donated some more money to another agent who has been ill. So thank you very much. They would like to remain anonymous, but I just want you guys to know that it's such a giving heart, and we appreciate you.
So thank y'all very much. We love you. We appreciate you. And if we can be of any service, please call, text, smoke signals.
Smoke signal over there.
We're here for you.
All right,
Thanks.
take care.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.